Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Libor Carlson. This is our snow day edition. This today is super cold, and the Omaha area had been closed for snow. Schools had been closed for snow for feels like an eternity. It's been just a few days, right? So I thought maybe it would be a great boredom buster to just have an idea for a nice and quick art project that we can work together on. Now, if you're watching replay, please in the comments mention that. Let me know what your name is and how old you are. Also, if you complete this project, I would love to see it. And if you are my student or if you are not my student, feel free to bring it over to the studio and we will display. I would love to display your art in the lobby for everybody to see. Now, here is what we're going to be using. And I think I'm going to switch to just one. Let's see, let's make sure that I got this right, because I really want to be able to just have. Oh, never mind. I think I got it solo. There you go. There you are, so that you just see my table and nothing else. Got to remove this while I was getting ready. Give me a thumbs up, please, so that I know that you can hear me. If you are here, I would love to. I need to know that you can hear me so that I'm not just talking into the void. And if I don't hear from you, then I know that there is no sound. Well, I've been talking for a little while now, so I imagine there is sound. Okay, so I'll just keep going and we'll figure this out. So for this project, you are going to need some drawing paper. I'm going to be working in my sketchbook. You can work on any kind of paper you have, printer paper, notebook paper. If you have a sketchbook, pull it out. It really doesn't matter. This is just a fun project. And I will be using my pencil and eraser for my sketch. And I will be using some coloring pencils today as I believe, probably the easiest, right? Easiest art supply that we can get. If you have crayons, that's great. If you have pastels, that's wonderful. Markers, maybe you decide to pull paints out. It is amazing and wonderful. Everything works, everything goes. Our project is the cherry branch. So we are going to create something with that cherry branch. And I want us to notice how cherry blossoms are kind of spread out a little bit on the branch, and also the size of the blossoms. Now, as artists, we can change all of these things. We do not have to stick with this. This is just our reference, kind of, sort of, to help us work on that. Okay. So first thing we need to decide is the composition, is where this is all going to go. So I was thinking that I want a short, stubby vase. And for that, I'm going to go down here, and my students know that sometimes I do that, and I'm going to put my hand on the edge of my paper, okay, and kind of measure 2 fingers up and just mark a line right here. It gives me just a little bit of understanding where the bottom of my vase is going to be, because I do not want it sitting right on the bottom, okay? And another thing I completely forgot, but if you like doing that, I really like to go very light pencil. I just go around my paper, kind of close to the edge, but I just go around and create kind of a frame. It is wobbly, it's not straight, and it doesn't have to be. But also, it gives me my boundaries. It allows me to see where I need to stop with my colors. And when the picture is done, when my art is done, it really looks a lot better this way. Okay, so we have the frame and we have the mark for the vase. Now I want my vase to be kind of rounded and spread out. Think like a cereal bowl, right? But even wider than that. So for that, what I will do, I'll go right to this line that I created, and I'm gonna start making a line that looks like could be a boat or maybe a smile, just a curvy line going up and down. Try not to press your pencil in. Do it very light, okay? I'm pressing it a little bit harder for you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. And I hope you get a very good view of what's happening here. Okay, so that's the beginning of my vase. Now my vase also needs to sit on something because otherwise it will be wobbly, right? It will keep rocking back and forth. I don't want that. So I'm gonna go right underneath here, just a little bit lower. And I'm gonna put a straight line up and going from side to side, decide how far I want it. And then I am going to connect my straight line to my vase, and you can go straight up. You can create a like a curvy line going this way. You can do a curvy line going that way and turn it into more of a deeper bowl. Whatever you choose is good. So I am going to do the curvy line like this and just help it into some sort of a shape. Does it need to be perfect? Absolutely not. It can be very irregular, right? It doesn't need to be all straight and symmetrical and all of that. This is just for fun. Okay, and now going to the top of the bowl, I'm going to be, pardon me, I'm going to be very lightly creating the edge. So first, I'm going to make like a very open letter C on one end, and it's like a D, letter capital D, that side is on that side, or a parentheses, okay? Now I'm gonna connect my parentheses over here very gently, not rushing in. Yep. And then I'm gonna connect them on the other side, going, it's like an upside down smile, but it's not very bendy. It's not super curvy, okay? It just closes the bowl. All right, let me turn it maybe this way a little bit to make sure that there is maybe a little bit of glare. I want to know that you guys can see this. Okay. Now from this bowl, this is where I want all my branches to sit, okay? And probably it doesn't make sense kind of in a way, right? If you just take the branch and you stick it into a bowl like this, it won't sit there, right? It'll fall. But my bowl has floral foam in it, and the foam is gonna hold all of my branches just exactly where I want them. So I'm gonna start maybe like right here in the middle, and I'm going to start adding branches to it. So as I'm adding branches, what I want us to do is to be very light and very free on how we create those branches. Look at these lines over here. Like, look at the first line, right? It goes all the way, like we start on the bottom, and then it goes and it curves up a little bit, and then it kind of almost breaks. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let's bring this down. You probably can't. Here. So it goes all the way up, and it almost kind of breaks down, right? And it stretches over to the side. Very organic. Yes? Now let's see. How about this branch right here? Let's trace it back. It starts here, and then it curves a little bit, right? And then here's the bend again. Almost broken. It's not broken, but it kind of gives you that kind of look. Yes? And then like this branch here is a little bit more straightforward, right? And this branch here is a little bit more straight. So we can make our branches just how we like them, all right? just be free with how your branches are moving around. So let's start on the bottom. I'm going to start right here. And my first branch, I'm going to bend it over just a little bit and then let it kind of break off a little, okay? So I'm just doing one line, very light pencil, not straight line, and kind of let it go down. Okay, I'm gonna see, let me turn this a little bit just to make sure you can see this. Can you see this? Not very well at all. Okay, so I'm gonna go even darker so that you guys can see what I'm doing. But for your art, don't go dark on these, okay? Let's see. Okay, that's better. That's something you guys can see. All right, so this is gonna be our first branch. Now I'm gonna start from here, and now I'm gonna bend to the left. And like, just create some irregular shapes, right? And then in the areas where your branch breaks like this over here, we can add another. We can add a branch coming this way. And then from here, we can add something coming that way. Or you can add another. And maybe another. The more branches we put in, the more flowers we can put in. How many flowers would you like to add? Oh, I like adding flowers to mine. Okay, so this looks pretty busy to me. Looks like I have plenty of branches. So I'm gonna stop with my branches here. And now I'm gonna start looking at the flowers, okay? Let's grab one. Let's grab one. I'm gonna put it on my hand and I'm gonna bring it as close to the camera, whoop, here, as I can get it for you to look at petals. So this one, and it's a fake plant from somewhere, I don't remember. It's a fake cherry blossom, but some cherry blossoms have a lot of petals like this one. But there's also cherry blossoms that only have 6 petals just in one row. And we can do whatever we like. And you see like there's this pollen area on the inside, the little pieces, wait, not helpful, here, little pieces on the inside, okay? So we're gonna start creating the areas for flowers. Now, depending on what you're using for your colors later, you can, like, if you are going to be using like super heavy acrylics and acrylic paint, and you're gonna cover all of your lines with your paint, then you don't need to worry about the outlines of your flowers, yeah? But if your plan is, let's say, to use coloring pencils, and your pencils are not gonna be able to cover all of this graphite from your regular pencil, right? You need to be very, very light, very light on your pencil, okay? Now, I am not very light on my pencil because I need you guys to see what I'm doing, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna pick one of the branches, or I'm gonna decide just how I want my little flowers distributed all over the place, right? And I'm not gonna, this is a beginner class, okay? So we're not gonna go into like deep, hard drawing, how to draw a cherry blossom. That can take us a while. We'll just create flowers, okay? So let's see. I think I'm gonna want one right here. Now see that you really do not want to make them big, okay? So keep them a little bit smaller. So now this is very light. Now I'm gonna go darker so you can see, right? Okay, so you do not need a very dark line here, all right? Make your flowers smaller. It's like pom-poms. It's like setting up pom-poms on your branches. And then I'm gonna do one here. And I'm gonna want one right here on top of the branch. And then I want to erase this line in the middle. So I'm just going to go right away and clean it up. Now let's do another. And another. Yeah, just keep adding those fluffy pom-poms to your branches and put some right in the middle of the branch. So it looks like your flower sits in front of the branch, and then erase that branch that's kind of crossing it. You will notice if you look at the real branch, you will notice that there is a good chunk of the branch that has no flowers at all. Yes. So we're going to leave like this part over here. I'm just going to leave it for the branch to be. Okay. So I'm super happy with my pom-poms. That looks good. Okay. Now, as I'm looking at my flowers here, let's put this one on my hand right now. Can you see how this little flower is more of an oval shape? Because it's just, it's a, oh my gosh, it's a bud, right? It's not a fully open flower. So we can add quite a few of those if we want. So I'm going to go back and maybe add an oval here. And I'm making them very irregular. And maybe I'll do an oval here. Maybe we'll sand one over there. Okay, that's good. Okay. And when we're happy with that, and I don't know how you guys doing, but I hope you're doing well. You can also just watch the replay later if I'm going too fast. We're gonna add a little tiny leaves just on the tips, just for a couple of branches. We do not need a lot of leaves because the spring has just started. Okay, so I'm gonna go on the top of my branch right here and turn this top into a leaf. Okay, so I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna go down on the curve, and then from the other side again, down on the curve. And then right from the spot where you ended that first leaf, you're gonna make another kind of a branch to the side. And then from the base going up, you're gonna do a curve up. And then the next curve, we're gonna go down, but we're gonna stop at that first leaf. Okay, so it looks like one leaf is in front of the other, and stop. Okay, so go ahead and add a couple of leaves. And then you can also add that second leaf on the other side. It doesn't have to always be on the right side. So you can do it like that. And I'm going to do 3 of these. So I have 1, 2. I'm going to put them like in a nice triangle. So tune, 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 somewhere here. Okay. Or maybe even, yep, I'm going to send my leaf right here to the bottom, where there is a bottom of the branch and there is nothing growing. So I'm just going to add a little line for it, add a leaf, and maybe even just leave it like that. I think this looks good. Cherry blossoms never looked better when they were put in a bowl, right? Okay, so now I need to decide, excuse me. Now I need to decide where the table is, where it ends. And I would like my table, just to make it easier a little bit, I'm just gonna draw a line coming from one end to the bowl, jump over the bowl, and then extend that line. And that will allow us to have the bowl like sitting on something, right? There you go. That's a good start. That is a very good start. Now I'm going to use my eraser and I'm going to clean up the lines that I do not want to have. And I don't know about you guys, but I have quite a few here that I really would rather not keep when I am ready to bring my color in. So just go ahead and clean up. All right. Get the dust out. Okay, and then one other thing that I really like to do, but I'm afraid that it might not be very useful as on camera. I like to grab my eraser and go lightly over my sketch to lighten the lines a little bit because my lines are super dark, okay? So I would just put my eraser on its side and very lightly, because I still want to see it, right? I still want to have my sketch, but I really do not want to have all these super dark lines, especially on my flowers. I want my flowers to be cute and dainty and very kind of airy and light and kind of pinkish. So I'm not applying a whole lot of pressure on my eraser. I'm just kind of taking it from side to side or up and down, not trying to remove the whole drawing, but just kind of get rid of the heavy lines. If you just hopped in, I would love, love, love to see what you create, and you can always bring it to the studio and we'll put it up in the lobby. We'll put it up in the lobby for everybody to see your beautiful art. So here we go. Wow, lots of dust here, right? Lots of eraser dust. Now, if you're gonna paint this or use your marker on it, make sure that all of this dust is gone. You do not want to have any dust left on your paper. Okay, now if you're just using coloring pencils or crayons or something like that, that dust is not gonna do anything bad or not too bad. All right, so now you can hardly see what I've got here, right? I kind of have, it's almost like a ghost of a sketch, but if I bring it up closer, you can see it much better. All right. So we're ready to color. It is absolutely your choice. It's your choice what you're going to create for your bowl, what you're going to make for your flowers, what colors you're going to use. I am just going to give you a couple of pointers on those branches. Okay. So my branches are going to be brown. And I'm going to use two colors, two shades of brown, lighter and darker brown. I'm going to start with lighter. My branches are going to be thicker at the bottom, at the base, and then they're going to become thinner as they go up. And I need to make sure that I do not create a branch on top of a flower because the flowers, some of the flowers are sitting right on top of that branch. So I'm just going to find my line. Let's see. I'm going to work on this branch right here. So I'm outlining it for myself so I don't miss it. Okay. And then I'm going to start from the base. And I'm just going to start to slowly building up the volume on that branch. Giving it some weight, right? So that it's not looking like it's a spider web, right? So it does look like a like a plant. Jump over my flower, go back. That didn't work very well, so I'm just coming back and fixing it, and that's all right. Because plants in the nature are very irregular. They are far from perfect. And as you put in your pencil in your paper, go back and forth, go back, come back again, so that you actually are getting nice coverage, right? And the paper is not showing through. Now you can do the same thing with your markers, but with markers, I would suggest to not go back and forth like that, because your paper will get very saturated with water and wet, and then it might rip. With markers, you will need to go a couple times, and then you will need to stop. Okay, so this was my lighter brown, and now I'm gonna get my darker brown and just go on the bottom of this branch and just add a little bit of shade to it. Just adding a little bit of darker color. You do need to slow down for this, but it's so worth it when it's done. It's gorgeous. And also you, my friend, have just created a fancy coloring page for yourself. Not, it is an art piece, yes, but right now it's like a coloring page. Okay, so I hope you guys can see what this made for us, that it kind of gave that branch a little bit more of a volume and definition, okay? I am just gonna stay here with you guys and show a couple flowers, and then I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna let you loose and create your own art, okay? Now for the flowers, we can try, right? If we want to, we can go with petals like this and a flower like this. So the middle of the flower is more like an orangish yellowish a little bit, right? And then the outside is very light pink, and then the outline of your petals is a little bit of a darker pink. Now, our flowers are much smaller, so we do not really need to go into all of that detail. We can just do a little bit, just kind of give a hint that there is a flower. Okay, so I'm gonna go with warm yellow first, and I'm gonna put some warm yellow right in the middle. Make sure that it's nice and warm. Let's see, let's make sure you guys can see it. Yes, good, good. And then I'm gonna switch. There is a whole lot of pinks here. I'll probably do, let's see. Oh, okay. I will use this one for my lighter pink. So I will use kind of a rounded motion going in circles, okay, to create like a rounded, fluffy flower. So I'm going to create little, like almost like polka dots. Just fill it up, fill it in circles like this. And just fill up all of that space that you created with your pencil when you were deciding where your flower is going to go. Okay, and then go again into the empty areas and add some more petals. Okay, and then we can take our darker pink and just go around those. See how it gives definition to the flower? I'm simply going around those petals and just putting a line over. Okay. And we have a flower. Now for your vase, you can use any colors you want. You can add patterns to your vase or some designs. Same with the table, same with the space behind your cherries. So you just you start with your branches and your flowers and your leaves, and then you'll move on to the vase, and then you will move on to the space behind your branches, and then you'll move on to the table. I hope that this has inspired you to try something new, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what you create. I'll see you at the studio or online. You know where to reach me if you have any questions. And until then, goodbye.